What's up, YouTube? Well, like the three people that look at my content. It's me. I'm gonna be going over each hack in the game and which one would be best for you. In this video, I'm gonna be covering the cooldown times for hacks, what hacks do, which situations they could be useful for, and my personal combinations. So right now, I'm gonna go over the basics for what each hack does. So if you already know and you're not like a noob, just skip to the timestamp I have on the bottom. So yeah. Alright, so we're gonna start off with teleport, aka blink. What it just does is basically you just teleport. It gives you high mobility and you can't get hit from the distance from point A to point B. Unlike other hacks like shockwave, even though you might go high, you might be able to get on top of buildings. From point A to point B, you can get shot out from, like, you could get shot in the middle of the air. Same for slam. It does the same thing and you can move forward, but you can still get shot. And also slam does damage. Okay, so slam it's basically like shockwave. It goes forward and it does damage when you land on an enemy. The only thing that happens is that you're gonna be stuck in an animation once you land. But if you just slam like normal, when you're about to land, tap circle. So you slide, and then it'll still do damage on impact, but you'd also be able to move. Alright, next we have ball. This is one of the other mobility. I guess you could count this as mobility, even though technically it's not really mobility, but it's pretty simple. All you do is wrap yourself around the ball and it protects you. This can get shot. If you do about 65 damage to this ball, you'll get knocked out. Ball is great for situations where you're just trying to move around the map. If you want to get out of a fight, I guess you can use this, even though there are some abilities that are better. But this ball, it does protect you while you're getting shot. But if you have a teleport, it pretty much defeats the point of using a ball to disengage. One disadvantage to using a ball is it's really easy to shoot. I don't know about anybody else, but when I see a ball, I just shoot it for fun. Okay, next we have Invulnerable. This is probably one of the most simple things. It literally just protects you. So Invulnerable, it protects you from any damage. It protects you from sector damage, from bullet damage, from like plasma gun damage. You cannot attack. You cannot do anything that is lethal. But besides that, there's nothing really else to it, and it does last about 5 seconds. Okay, next we have heal. Just place down your heal and it'll heal you while you're in the area. This heal does go through floors and it does have verticality to it. Instead of having to run to try to regain health, you can place down your health. While you're in the gunfight, you can place it down to instantly start regaining health. So when you don't have heal, you'll have a while that you need to not take damage to be able to regain health. And with health, you just instantly start regaining health. Next up, we have reveal. So it just pings the enemies. So even if you move behind the wall, or if they're moving around behind obstacles, you'll still be able to see them and track them for a certain amount of time. Next, we have a magnet. Magnet is kind of controversial because some people think it's bad. To me, it's actually pretty good because I play aggressive. So a lot of times people try to run when they start to get lit. But what I like to do, use a magnet. We don't talk about how I miss. But what I like to do is use a magnet and then I laser them while they're getting pulled into the magnet and while they're stuck in the magnet. Magnet does have a little bit of verticality to it. I'm not sure what range it's effective from, like verticality, but it does pull enemies from a vertical standpoint. Next we have invisible, and this is the simplest thing I could, like, it's so simple. You just go invisible. Your enemies cannot see you. They can still hear you and track you while you're invisible. And also, if you get revealed while you're invisible, your enemies can see you. Next, we have mine, and it's very similar to magnet, but but it's just a lethal version of a magnet. So instead of pulling you, it'll go towards an enemy and do a certain amount of damage to it. I think a fully upgraded one does about 45 damage, but still, this is the point. This does not work through walls just like the magnet, and it does have verticality to it, like right here. It'll still work, and it does track you for a decent amount of time, but if there's an obstacle in the way and it crashes into it, it will explode. Lastly, we have a wall. Place it down and it just creates a wall and it protects you. It does need to be I think you need to do 200 damage to it. No, actually you have to do 250 to it. But this can be used to make you go higher, and while you're in the air you can still use this to even stack this even more. So sometimes on crown rushes this would be a good combo with any mobility hack, so you can be able to stack and go higher and higher. It's that simple. Yeah, that's it. With abilities like mine, slam, and heal, when on your last fusion your abilities damage will go up. So with the mine your damage will go from 30 to 45. With the slam your damage will go from 20 to 30, and with a heal I'm not sure how much your heal goes up by, but it definitely goes up. And just make sure you keep track of that. Okay, so now we're on cooldown time. Most objects in the game have a 12-second cooldown time, but when fully fused their cooldown time goes down to 7 seconds. Those hacks are ball, reveal, slam, teleport, shockwave, and wall. So most of these abilities do increase the pace of the game, like teleport, shockwave, slam, because you can play aggressive with these or you can play defensively with these, except for reveal. But all of these, they start out at 12 and then they go down to 7. As you can see, 7-second cooldown. It's that simple. And everything else in the game has a 14-second cooldown time, and they go down to 9. So when you fully fuse them, there'll be a 9-second cooldown. And these hacks are invisibility, mine, magnet, heal, and invulnerable. Each time you upgrade anything in the game, the cooldown time will go down by 1 second for every fuse. When you go to the fully fused version of the hack, it'll reduce that cooldown time by 2 seconds on the last fusion. When it comes down to which hacks you probably need, I'd always say go for some mobility. Always need it. You always need it. Something that you can go a certain distance in. You can use something that you can use to disengage, like maybe a wall or invisibility. The main thing you want to have is something that you can move a great distance in a faster amount of time. So you can be able to scale buildings, and you can be able to go further in a short amount of time. What I usually do is I use teleport with invisibility, so I can be able to teleport. So I use a teleport for mobility, and I use invisibility to be able to disengage or to be able to sneak around my enemies. So look, invisibility. As soon as I go out of invisibility, teleport. Or vice versa, you can teleport first and go invisible last. Or while you're in the air, when you teleport, you can go invisible. So then enemies won't know where you landed. I basically just use whatever fits my playstyle. So if I know I'm gonna be in a lot of gunfights and I might need to leave because I'm getting third partied, invisibility. Or I could use heal because I'd be able to heal up faster. Or I can use invulnerable with that. So for one, you always need mobility, and the second hack you use, you always want something that fits your playstyle. So if you play passive, maybe you want to have a ball, because then you'd be able to move and be a noob and just leave. You know, it's that simple. You'd be able to traverse the map, not bother anybody. If somebody shoots your ball, teleport. You could just leave. If you play aggressive and you want to always push enemies and get the kill on them, use magnet. So then you shoot at enemy. They try to run, magnet. Also, if you want to go for a crown rush, I usually use teleport wall or teleport invulnerable, because I wouldn't be able to get shot. So teleport wall, get off my wall or something, land on a building, run off that building, vault, teleport again. Somebody follows me, put down the wall. It's that simple. Or you can use invulnerability. That's what I use as one of my options too. The only thing about invulnerability is the longer cooldown. So fully fuse it. So teleport, go in a building. I see an enemy shooting at me. Run in this building until I can run in this building. Teleport back up. As I said, you always want to have mobility, and then the second hack, always have something that fits your playstyle. For passive, you have ball, maybe invulnerable, invisibility. You can use invisibility for playing aggressive and playing passive, but mostly you want invulnerable and invisible or a ball. And you could use heal for either. You could use invulnerable for either. So it depends on how you're gonna use the hacks as well. And that's about it for the video, guys. If you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to comment. And if you don't comment, I'm stealing your cookies. And yeah, that's it for the video.